yeah, it's a scary thing to think you're going to lose a person that you just started your life with. Yeah, we've been a team from the beginning. He, in the emergency room that night, he was like, I think you're going to save my life. And I was like, I am. Tommy and I met in college. We were best friends like from freshman year until about junior year, and then he surprised me and was like, I think we should date. And I was shocked, but I don't know why I didn't see that coming. Apparently he'd been kind of in that mindset for like a year, and I was like, whoa, okay, yeah, me too. And then I just feel like for both of us, there was never like any question. Like it was like, this is happening, I know we're gonna be together. Yeah, I just feel like he's just he's just the best. I don't know. It was on our 5-year anniversary. We're in Puerto Rico. He like took me down to this big like overlook of the ocean, and he was like, do you want me to blow your mind? And I thought he was gonna tell me like a fact about constellations or something. He was starting to propose. He just like shocked me. I can't, like 0% of me expected to be proposed to. He kind of had to like start over because I thought he was faking it. So we had about a 1.5-year engagement. He started having trouble swallowing. Like he kept saying like food was getting stuck, was like the feeling that he was feeling. And it kept progressing. Like it started with like bread and some meats and stuff, and like he would have to like isolate what foods worked, what didn't. But it was such a slow progression that there weren't a lot of red flags of like, you should have this looked at. And we were having such a busy year. We were going on a lot of trips and the wedding, and it was kind of like right before the wedding where it was like getting pretty serious, where he was like having really difficulty with most foods. And that was when we decided to see a gastroenterologist, and his appointment, he didn't have availability till after the wedding. And it was a whole big Southern affair. It was like all of our friends came, and it was just like a big white wedding. It was very, very fun. His actual diagnosis was 53 days after we got married. The day before, he had an endoscopy, and they saw that there was a mass. And the doctor met me in the lobby and was like, we have a problem. And again, I don't know if we just are, I guess, optimists, but when he came out, I was just expecting him to be like, oh, it's just this thing. And when he said we have a problem, it was just like really like hit me in the chest. We went back into the room, and he said he'd be over in a minute, and I was talking to Tommy, and he was like, how'd it go? Like, what's the deal? And I was like, I didn't know what to say to him. And we didn't actually get the diagnosis until the next night, and his doctor called and was like, you have adenocarcinoma, it's esophageal cancer, we need to, and he had gone to the other room, and I just like walked in, and he was just sitting on the floor, and that was when I hadn't even heard yet, but I was like, that's what's happening. It's an insane situation to be in, and his cancer specifically is one that 70-year-olds get, and for it to have been stage 3+, it's like unheard of. Yeah, that was kind of like the joke. We're just doing the sickness and health thing really early, just getting it out of the way. I mean, it was like, couldn't get off the floor. Like there's like, some days you'd wake up completely fine, ready to take on the day, like, and then some days you just like couldn't breathe. Like it was like, this is going to be a very difficult journey, and it's like you can take one of two ways. You can give in, or you can fight like hell, and that's what we've done. I mean, he's had, at this point, like hundreds of appointments, and I think I've missed like 5. We called me cancer manager. He was positive, but it was overwhelming for him, and to have to deal with the planning, dealing with appointments, dealing with nurses and scheduling. Like, he could have done it, but it would have been a lot. So I took on all of that. So I was fully in charge of all of his treatment schedules, and every time you go to an appointment, they give you a stack of information, or they like tell you a million things, and you're like scribbling things down, and it it was like chaotic. So that was when I started having the idea for like making a planner that could help with that. I was only making it for him and for me. Just like created this like one-time version of what I called the Better Book, because I was just went all out with this little planner. So like the first several pages are the information that you have to tell people all of the time. Like they will ask your pharmacy address like 10 times a week, or they'll ask like, who's your primary care physician? What's their email address? So like that kind of information's in the front. We have appointment trackers, bills, and payment tracker. I think the one Tommy thinks is most helpful is like a weekly tracker where has like little different faces of like happy to sad. I have a section for thank you note, or for keeping track of your support system, journal pages just like for daily journaling. I was in a lot of waiting rooms. I was in a lot of hospital rooms with a lot of downtime, so I would always be bouncing ideas off of Tommy, like, do you think this would be helpful for you? Is this something you would actually use? The more I would tell like friends and family about it, they were like, you should like definitely think about sharing this. At that point, I was like, I feel like I should start thinking about what this could be. My mom helped me purchase the first 100 copies, and I sold them in like less than a couple weeks, and it was just like the reception was nothing like I ever thought. It's so crazy. People are so amazing with their feedback. It's like, again, I never thought any of this would happen, but people will be like, I gave this to my mom and she feels so much more on top of her recovery, or like my friend like needed some uplifting and I sent your book and like it was just really brightened his day. And also like the people that have messaged and were like, I know this book was like intended for like cancer patients, but they were like, I use it to track my depression, or I have been using it to help with my dad's Alzheimer's, and stuff like I'd never had the idea for the book to even help with. A cancer diagnosis is so scary and so hard that if there's just like any sort of like relief or help that comes your way, you just like grasp onto it. And just knowing that I could potentially be that like little bit of relief, or like a little bit of, I don't know, just like some of the weight off I'm so grateful that I can provide that in this way. But yeah, sorry. Also make these like lighthearted, funny get well cards. You can get like a card and a book together, and to be able to send us like a little like care package kind of thing. So it's been like a couple months and we've sold several hundred now. It's definitely been a team effort. Like he's always like, it's your thing, and I'm like, it's our thing. And like he's just like so proud. As much as he thinks it's like I did it, I asked him every single thing. Like his journey is what made the book. So it's like, it really has been a team effort.
I can't imagine having the tables turned. I don't know what I would do in that situation, but there's no way I would handle it so well as she did, just like a superstar. And I'm really just like astounded at how much it's just continued to grow. I mean, every day she gets more and more random calls and orders and emails about it. She's amazing. She's always been incredible with, anything she puts her mind to. It's super impressive what she's done, and I'm really proud of her.
It's extremely exciting. We just found out like 2 days ago. He had his most recent PET scan on Monday, and on Wednesday we found out that he has a clean scan and he's cancer-free at this moment. It's so exciting. I can't even believe I can say that. It's so amazing.
I think every day I get a little bit more appreciative of the new perspective, and hopefully that just continues, and we'll look back on this as just something that made us stronger, nicer, better people who appreciate the life and the lemonade that we now make.
Like, obviously this isn't like anyone's dream newlywed year, but the fact that we were able to become so grounded in each other and find strength through each other and find, I don't know, just like grow so close in such a specific and important way so early on in our marriage, it's gonna lay the groundwork for the rest of our marriage, and I value that so much.